Panasonic, the heart of your system.
Alright guys, Dominic here for KitGuru. I'm actually joined by Sasha from ASUS. We're here at ASUS HQ, where 5 days ahead of Gamescom, we are getting a preview of the ASUS ROG Strix Scar II. So Sasha, I actually reviewed the original Scar. What can you tell me? What has changed? What is new about the Strix Scar II?
Right, so first thing, obvious, you've noticed the bezel is super slim,
Sure.
And the
They
panel...
were a bit chunky before, weren't they?
Right, because we focused on performance first and not slim bezel. So we're first to push for the 144 Hz with an HVA IPS-Level display.
Okay.
And
that's
now,
also up. Sorry to interrupt. If I recall correctly, the original Scar had a 120 Hz display.
Right, and then we did the coffee Lego refresh for the 6-core, and we went to 144 Hz.
Okay.
Right, and after that, now we're going for slim bezel and 3 milliseconds.
So the display is quite a feature. 3 milliseconds gray-to-gray response time.
Right.
That is like now at a level of being even better than some desktop monitors, surely. So
right.
I remember you telling me something. How did you achieve that, really?
So we worked
what's
very
the technology?
closely with AUO, the panel vendor, and we created a custom panel firmware which uses overdrive to shorten the time it takes from the pixel to transition from one color state to another color state. And essentially what you do is when you're at white and you're aiming for gray, instead of going for gray, which takes a long time to get there, you aim for black and then you just stop before you actually get to black.
Which
transition
speed,
faster.
that means the transition is faster by aiming for black rather than gray.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's how you get the 3 millisecond response time.
Right.
And the panel technology, what panel technology does it use?
It's called overdrive.
Okay.
Yeah, and essentially the tricky part is the transition from one color state to another color state. It's always different depending on where you start and what your target color state is. So you have to map out all the, you have to have a complete map table from what color to what color. How do you transition? What fake coordinates do you dial in to get there faster? And you also change the voltage a little bit. So it's a
Because obviously with a laptop, especially if you're out on the go, you're not plugged into the mains, there's going to be much more emphasis on power consumption compared to a desktop monitor, for instance.
Correct. So what we do is once you pull out the power plug, we actually switch back to 60 Hz and we disable overdrive, so you get extra battery life. And once you plug in the charger, it goes to performance mode. You go up to 144 Hz with overdrive and 3 milliseconds, which we're the only ones who have that worldwide. We're the first ones to have it. We developed it together with the panel vendor. And it's like desktop gaming monitor.
So the panel has been upgraded. I also remember one of probably my main issue with the Scar 1 was actually that it was quite loud under load. Have you taken steps to change that? Have you added in something differently?
So essentially how we see it is as soon as we improve our thermal module to have extra cooling performance, we use that extra headroom that we have to push performance even higher. So we're always pushing for the maximum performance. According to our surveys and when we talk to customers, the thing that they care about the most is always performance. But there are some users who are really sensitive to fan noise. So what we've added for the latest generation is all our models have a silent mode. So silent mode, what it essentially does is it limits the CPU power and the GPU power, so you get a little bit less performance. Depending on the model, it's like 10 to 30% less performance, but you're never getting over 35 decibels. And it actually goes as low as 33 decibels for some models. So it's like really, really quiet.
Yeah.
And it's quite amazing when you actually get a chance. Looking forward to hearing from you when you try it. You're in the normal fan mode, you start playing a game, and then you switch to silent mode. The fan just slowly ramps down, gets quieter and quieter. It's quite impressive.
And then in terms of the internal components, you touched on, obviously got the new Intel 6-core CPUs. What kind of graphics options are we talking?
Right, so this is the 704, which is the Scar II, Scar edition. It goes from 1060 to 1070.
Okay, is that full fat chips or is Max-Q?
It's the full fat performance chips. It's not the Max-Q ones, right? And for the 504, which is the Scar II 15-inch, it's the same 1060 and 1070. And CPU-wise, you're looking at Core i7 6-core 8750.
Okay, brilliant. And then you've also mentioned to me about the chassis. What upgrades have you made to the chassis? I also remember the Scar maybe had just a little bit of flex, maybe just a little bit plasticky. You mentioned the new lid on the Scar II.
Right.
What?
So we have a new lid. I don't know if you can see it well from the angle over there. It's a new design and it's aluminum and CNC'd on the edges for a very nice diamond cut. The RG logo in the lid now is RGB.
Okay, sure.
We have an RGB light bar in the front as well.
Perfect.
The keyboard is RGB. You have the WASD keys and the QWER keys, depending on if it's the Scar II or the Hero II.
Okay.
And the chassis is stronger, yes. We use polycarbonate, which is a harder plastic. And we use a mix of ABS and polycarbonate, which makes it harder and more stiff.
Okay, so there should be less flex around the keyboard area.
Right, so we reinforce the structure.
Okay, brilliant.
And another really cool and unique feature about the Scar II and the Hero II is for the 504 and the 704, we have range boost. We call it Wi-Fi range boost.
Okay.
We're the first to have 4 Wi-Fi antennas in a laptop, and we're the first to have smart Wi-Fi antennas in a laptop. So what we do is we have 4 Wi-Fi antennas and dynamically check which one has the best signal, and then we switch to those to have a good signal no matter how you rotate the laptop.
Yeah, because what you don't want is maybe you're gaming on your desk, but then you move to the living room, for instance, and then it's still trying to connect to using the other antenna, for instance.
Yeah. And if you're at home, you probably have a good Wi-Fi signal. But if you're at a dorm or in a hotel or at work or university, you might have a Wi-Fi access point that's really far away. And I actually didn't know, in case you remember the Apple iPhone 4 antenna gate thing, right? You touch the iPhone and then the signal gets weaker. Yeah. It's actually similar for laptops. I didn't know that. So when you rotate the laptop a little bit, it changes the signal strength a lot.
Okay.
And there are some laptops where, depending on which angle you position it at, related to the access point, you get a really poor signal, or if it's far away, you even lose the Wi-Fi signal. Okay. So you are not able to connect to the Wi-Fi, but with this one, you'll be able to connect to the Wi-Fi because it has 4 antennas and it always uses the ones that are having the best signal to the access point.
Lovely. So this is a new look at the ASUS ROG Strix Scar. We've got a new fast display, particular emphasis on the Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi antennas, latest Intel 6-core processors. We're just waiting to confirm pricing at the moment, but we should have that over the next couple of days, so we will leave it in the description below. But I'm Dominic for KitGuru. I've been talking with Sasha from ASUS about the preview of the ASUS ROG Strix Scar. Like this video if you haven't already, and make sure you subscribe, and also be sure to hit the bell icon to be notified about all of our future videos.